The Ridda Wars, a pivotal moment in human history, forged the destiny of empires and faiths. As the last gasps of pre-Islamic Arabia gave way to a new era of unification and conquest, the course of civilization was forever altered. The fate of nations hangs in the balance as we embark on a journey into the heart of the Ridda Wars. In the scorching deserts of Arabia, where the sun dipped into the dunes like a fiery blade, the pre-Islamic era was drawing to a close. The year was 632 CE, and the Prophet Muhammad had just passed away, leaving behind a vast and fragmented landscape of tribes, cities, and trade routes. The Arabian Peninsula, a land of stark beauty and unforgiving climate, was home to a complex tapestry of cultures, each with their own distinct customs, beliefs, and traditions. As the news of the Prophet's death spread like wildfire across the desert, the fragile unity of the Muslim community began to fray. The Ansar, the Medinan tribes who had provided crucial support to the Prophet during his early years, felt a sense of unease and disquiet. They had sworn allegiance to the Prophet, but with his passing, they wondered if their loyalty would be transferred to his successor. The Muhajirun, the Meccan immigrants who had followed the Prophet to Medina, were equally uncertain about their place in the new order. In this atmosphere of uncertainty, a power struggle emerged. The Prophet's closest companions, Abu Bakr and Umar, found themselves at the forefront of the debate over who should succeed the Prophet as the leader of the Muslim community. The Ansar, led by Sa'd ibn Ubadah, proposed that one of their own should be chosen as the new leader, while the Muhajirun, led by Abu Bakr, argued that the successor should come from among them. As the debate raged on, a sense of urgency settled over the city of Medina. The Prophet's death had created a power vacuum, and it was imperative that a new leader be chosen quickly to prevent the Muslim community from fragmenting. The gathering of the Ansar and the Muhajirun at the Saqifa, a roofed platform in Medina, marked a pivotal moment in the history of Islam. It was here that Abu Bakr, with his wisdom, experience, and reputation for fairness, emerged as the consensus choice to succeed the Prophet. Abu Bakr's accession to the caliphate marked the beginning of a new era in Islamic history. As the first caliph, he faced numerous challenges, including the task of unifying the Muslim community, suppressing rebellions, and expanding the borders of the Islamic State. The Ridda Wars, a series of campaigns waged against the rebel tribes of Arabia, would become one of the defining features of his caliphate. The term Ridda itself is derived from the Arabic word for apostasy, and it refers to the acts of rebellion and secession that erupted across the Arabian Peninsula in response to Abu Bakr's accession. The rebels, who included tribes such as the Banu Asad, the Banu Tamim, and the Banu Qada'ah, rejected Abu Bakr's authority and refused to pay the zakat, the Islamic tax on wealth. As the news of the rebellion spread, Abu Bakr realized that swift and decisive action was necessary to quell the uprisings and maintain the unity of the Muslim community. He turned to his trusted companion, Khalid ibn al-Walid, a brilliant military strategist and one of the most feared warriors of his time. Khalid had played a crucial role in several key battles during the Prophet's lifetime, including the Battle of Uhud and the Battle of Hunain. As Khalid ibn al-Walid set out to quell the rebellions, he was met with a complex web of alliances and rivalries between the various tribes. The Banu Asad, for instance, had long been rivals of the Banu Tamim, and their decision to rebel against Abu Bakr's authority was motivated in part by a desire to assert their independence and gain an advantage over their enemies. Khalid's first target was the tribe of Banu Wa'il, who had rebelled against Abu Bakr's authority and were now being led by a charismatic leader named Tulayha. Tulayha, who claimed to be a prophet, had gained a significant following among the tribes of northeastern Arabia, and his rebellion posed a significant threat to Abu Bakr's authority. Khalid marched towards Tulayha's stronghold, gathering intelligence on the rebel leader's movements and tactics as he went. He was joined by a contingent of troops led by Adi ibn Hatim, a skilled warrior who had fought alongside the Prophet in several battles. As they approached Tulayha's camp, Khalid devised a clever strategy to defeat the rebels without resorting to bloodshed. He sent a delegation of emissaries, including Adi ibn Hatim, to negotiate with Tulayha and persuade him to surrender. The emissaries were instructed to appeal to Tulayha's sense of loyalty to the Muslim community and to remind him of the Prophet's teachings on the importance of unity and obedience to authority. Tulayha, however, was not easily swayed. He had become convinced of his own prophetic mission and saw Abu Bakr as a usurper who was seeking to undermine his authority. The negotiations failed, and Khalid was forced to prepare for battle. The two armies clashed near the town of Buzaka, and despite being outnumbered, Khalid's forces emerged victorious. Tulayha himself fled the battlefield, but many of his followers were killed or captured. Khalid treated the prisoners with leniency, releasing them on condition that they swear allegiance to Abu Bakr and agree to pay the zakat. The victory at Buzaka marked a significant turning point in the Ridda Wars, as it demonstrated the military prowess of Khalid ibn al-Walid and the determination of Abu Bakr to assert his authority over the rebellious tribes. The next target for Khalid's campaign was the tribe of Banu Tamim, who had rebelled against Abu Bakr's authority under the leadership of a man named Uyayna. Uyayna was a skilled warrior and a cunning leader, and he had managed to unite several smaller tribes under his banner. As they approached Uyayna's camp, Khalid encountered a group of Muslim prisoners who had been taken captive by the rebels. The prisoners reported that Uyayna was planning to execute them in retaliation for Abu Bakr's campaigns against the rebellious tribes. Khalid knew that he had to act quickly to rescue the prisoners and defeat Uyayna's forces. He devised a bold plan which involved launching a surprise attack on Uyayna's camp under cover of night. The plan was fraught with risk, but Khalid was confident in his ability to lead his troops to victory. He assembled a small contingent of trusted warriors, including Adi ibn Hatim and Amr ibn al-Az, and set out towards Uyayna's camp. The night attack caught the rebels off guard, and they were quickly overwhelmed by Khalid's forces. Uyayna himself was killed in the battle, and many of his followers were either killed or captured. The Muslim prisoners were rescued, and they were overjoyed to be reunited with their comrades. The victory over Uyayna marked another significant milestone in the Ridda Wars, as it demonstrated Khalid's military genius and his ability to adapt to changing circumstances on the battlefield. Abu Bakr was delighted with the news of Khalid's victories, and he wrote to him, expressing his gratitude and admiration for his bravery and skill. However, the Ridda Wars were far from over. Other rebellious tribes remained to be defeated, and Khalid knew that he would have to face even greater challenges in the days ahead. The tribe of Banu Qidah, for instance, had rebelled against Abu Bakr's authority under the leadership of a man named Quraysh ibn Abi Umayyah. Quraysh was a cunning leader who had managed to unite several smaller tribes under his banner, and he posed a significant threat to Abu Bakr's authority. Khalid ibn al-Walid's next campaign was against the tribe of Banu Qidah, who had rebelled against Abu Bakr's authority under the leadership of Quraysh ibn Abi Umayyah. As he approached Quraysh's camp, Khalid encountered a group of Bedouin tribesmen who were sympathetic to the Muslim cause. They provided him with valuable information about Quraysh's forces, including their numbers, weaponry, and battle tactics. Khalid used this intelligence to plan his attack, deciding to launch a surprise assault on Quraysh's camp at dawn. The Muslim army approached Quraysh's camp under cover of darkness, taking care to avoid detection by the rebel scouts. As the sun began to rise, Khalid gave the order to attack, and the Muslim army charged into battle with a fierce cry of Allahu Akbar. The rebels were caught off guard, and they were quickly overwhelmed by the Muslim forces. Quraysh himself fought bravely, but he was ultimately killed in the battle. Many of his followers were either killed or captured, and the rest fled in disarray. As the news of Khalid's victory spread, many of the rebellious tribes began to lose heart. They realized that they were no match for the Muslim army, and they started to surrender or flee. The tribe of Banu Sulaym, who had rebelled against Abu Bakr's authority under the leadership of a man named Dul Khalasa, was one of the first to surrender. Dul Khalasa, also known as the idol of Dul Khalasa, was a pagan shrine that was revered by the tribe of Banu Sulaym. The shrine was located in a strategic location, and it controlled access to the region. Khalid marched towards the shrine, determined to capture it and bring the tribe under Muslim control. As he approached the shrine, Khalid encountered a group of tribesmen who were determined to defend their sacred site. They launched a fierce attack on the Muslim army, but they were ultimately repelled. Khalid captured the shrine and destroyed the idol, marking a significant victory for the Muslims. The capture of Dul Khalasa marked the beginning of the end of the Ridda Wars in the region. Many of the rebellious tribes surrendered or fled, and Abu Bakr's authority was established over the region. Khalid ibn al-Walid continued to campaign against the remaining rebellious tribes, using his military genius and strategic thinking to outmaneuver and defeat them. One of the most significant challenges that Khalid faced during this period was the rebellion of the tribe of Banu Hanifa, who were led by a man named Musaylima. Musaylima was a charismatic leader who claimed to be a prophet, and he had managed to unite several smaller tribes under his banner. He posed a significant threat to Abu Bakr's authority, and Khalid knew that he had to be defeated. The Ridda Wars were slowly coming to an end, and Abu Bakr's authority was being established over the region. However, there were still some pockets of resistance that needed to be dealt with. He marched towards the region of Yamama, where a large group of rebels had gathered under the leadership of a man named Tulayba. Tulayba was a skilled leader who had managed to unite several smaller tribes under his banner. The battle between Khalid and Tulayba was fierce and intense, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. In the end, it was Khalid who emerged victorious, having successfully outmaneuvered and defeated Tulayba's forces. The rebels were either killed or captured, and the rest fled in disarray. The victory over Tulayba marked the end of the Ridda Wars in the region. Abu Bakr's authority was established over the region, and the Muslim army had emerged victorious. Khalid ibn al-Walid had played a crucial role in the wars, using his military genius and strategic thinking to outmaneuver and defeat the rebellious tribes. As the Ridda Wars came to an end, Abu Bakr turned his attention to the task of consolidating Muslim power and establishing a stable government. He appointed governors to oversee the various regions, and he established a system of taxation and administration. The Muslim army continued to expand its borders, conquering new territories and spreading Islam throughout the region. Khalid ibn al-Walid remained one of the most important military leaders in the Muslim army, continuing to play a crucial role in the expansion of Muslim power. He went on to conquer the Sassanid Empire, defeating the Persian armies and incorporating their territories into the Muslim state. His military campaigns took him as far as Syria and Palestine, where he defeated the Byzantine armies and captured key cities such as Damascus and Jerusalem. As Khalid ibn al-Walid continued to expand Muslim power, he played a crucial role in the conquest of the Levant, which began in 634 CE. The Byzantine Empire, weakened by internal conflicts and external pressures, was unable to withstand the Muslim army's advances. Khalid led the vanguard of the Muslim forces, using his tactical genius to outmaneuver the Byzantine armies and capture key cities such as Basra and Damascus. The fall of Damascus in 635 CE marked a significant turning point in the conquest of the Levant, as it gave the Muslims control over a major city and access to the surrounding regions. Khalid's next target was the city of Jerusalem, which was heavily fortified and defended by a large Byzantine garrison. After a lengthy siege, the city fell to the Muslims in 638 CE, with Khalid ibn al-Walid leading the negotiations for its surrender. The conquest of the Levant had far-reaching consequences, as it brought a large population of Christians, Jews, and other minorities under Muslim rule. The Muslims established a system of governance that allowed for religious freedom and tolerated the existing social structures, which helped to ease the transition and minimize resistance. Khalid ibn al-Walid played a key role in implementing this policy, working closely with the local leaders and populations to establish a stable and just administration. As the Muslim army continued its expansion, it encountered new challenges and opportunities. The Sassanid Empire, which had been weakened by internal conflicts and external pressures, was eventually conquered by the Muslims in 651 CE. The conquest of Persia brought a vast territory and a large population under Muslim rule, and marked the beginning of a new era of cultural and scientific exchange between the Islamic world and the ancient Persian civilization. The Ridda Wars had a profound impact on the development of the Islamic State, as they helped to establish a strong and centralized government and paved the way for the expansion of Muslim power into new regions. The wars also marked the emergence of Khalid ibn al-Walid as one of the most important military leaders in Islamic history, whose campaigns and conquests played a crucial role in shaping the course of Islamic expansion. In the aftermath of the Ridda Wars, the Muslim state underwent significant changes, as the caliphate was established on a more formal basis, with Abu Bakr's successor, Umar ibn al-Khattab, playing a key role in consolidating power and establishing a system of governance. The legacy of the Ridda Wars can be seen in the establishment of a strong and centralized Islamic state, which was able to expand its borders and spread Islam throughout the region. The wars also marked the emergence of key figures such as Khalid ibn al-Walid, who played a crucial role in shaping the course of Islamic history. As the Islamic State continued to evolve and expand, it faced new challenges and opportunities, including the conquest of new territories, the establishment of a system of governance, and the development of a rich cultural and scientific heritage. The expansion of Muslim power into the Levant and beyond had far-reaching consequences, as it brought different cultures and populations under Islamic rule. The conquest of the Sassanid Empire, in particular, marked the beginning of a new era of cultural and scientific exchange between the Islamic world and the ancient Persian civilization. As the Islamic State continued to expand its borders, it encountered new challenges and opportunities. The conquest of Egypt, which began in 639 CE, marked a significant turning point in the expansion of Muslim power into North Africa. The Muslims faced stiff resistance from the Byzantine armies, but ultimately emerged victorious, capturing key cities such as Alexandria and establishing a new capital at Fustat. The conquest of Egypt also marked the beginning of a new era of cultural and scientific exchange between the Islamic world and the ancient Egyptian civilization. The expansion of Muslim power into North Africa and beyond continued unabated, with the Muslims facing new challenges and opportunities as they encountered different cultures and populations. The Ridda Wars stand as a pivotal moment in Islamic history, marking the transition from a fragile, fledgling state to a robust and expansive empire. The Ridda Wars may be a chapter in the annals of history, but their impact remains a powerful testament to the enduring legacy of those who dared to shape the course of human events. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.